When people can see Christ in you, it's going to do one or two things. It's going to draw them to you, or it's going to drive them away. So we have to partake of the divine nature. We have to understand that we are now spiritually circumcised. We talked about that a little bit last week. We talked about that, about how it was said that we are spiritually circumcised without the use of any hands. In other words, God has now begun to cut away that filth, that unrighteousness, those things that are not of him from our heart, and then it flows from the inside out, because y'all remember what Jesus told his disciples. It's not what defiles a man of what he put in, but what it comes out. And it comes from the heart. When God begins to work on our heart, when he begins to cut away at that stuff, we are now no longer enslaved by lust of the flesh. Ephesians 2:3 says it like this. He says, among whom we all have lived in the passion of our flesh. What he said then was that we all have been through it. We all have had these fleshly desires. We all have done some things that we know we ought not have done. We all have been some places we know we ought not have went. We all have said some things that we ought not have said. But look at what he says. He says, among whom all once have lived in the passion of our flesh, carrying out the desires of our body and our mind. We were nature children of wrath like the rest of mankind. But when you come into Christ, he said in Colossians 3:5, he says, put to death, therefore, whatever belongs to your earthly nature. Because of these things, the wrath of God is coming. He said, you used to walk in these ways of life, but now when you are a new creature, you have now put the old things away, and all things are made new. When you begin to walk in the newness of God, when you discover just how good God can be. He said, don't lie to each other about what you used to do. Don't lie. Don't take it for granted of where I have brought you from. But let your testimony be a witness to somebody that if you're looking down at me right now, you have no clue of what I've done or what I've been through. But I serve a God in heaven that he is able. He's able to do anything but fail. Even James told us in chapter 1, verse 14, he says, but each one of you is tempted when he is drawn away by his own desires and enticed. Then when desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin. But I read in the Bible that God will provide an avenue of escape for you, that when sin comes your way, you can tell, get thee behind me, Satan, because I serve a God who is discovering a new life within me.